Hi, welcome to Modern Anthropology. Oops, welcome to MAGA Modern Anthropology. Yeah, I get that wrong. Oh man, I practice this video, honest, I swear. How are you? Uh, I was noticing on my YouTube feed that it was showing older videos, and I'm like, what's going on? And then it struck me that content creators are taking time off, and so they're not providing new content, and so I'm getting older videos because of the holidays. So I thought, that might be a good time to make a one-time video. I don't know how a one-time video on YouTube would ever get promoted. I really don't. I think their algorithm requires you to have like a certain size audience or something. I don't know. So anyway, but maybe I'll get lucky. Who knows? So in this video, I'm going to give a modern anthropological breakdown of MAGA. Yeah. Anthropology simply means the study of humans, and modern anthropology just means study of modern humans. Yeah, I got one ear lower than the other, so if you see my glasses like going sideways, that's what it's all about. Because it's droopy on my eye. Okay, so the TLDR, or too long didn't read version of this, is that MAGA is simply tribalism, and the response must manage tribalism in general. Yeah. It's otherwise you're going to have a game of whack-a-mole with MAGA turning into something else. The elevator pitch version, 30-second version, is that MAGA is simply tribalism, and tribalism is low effort, no effort society based on our base human nature. Civilization, on the other hand, takes great effort using a set of rules to overcome our base nature for improved society, right? So low effort, no effort, just, basically cutting with the grain of what our human nature is, right? Versus, great effort to kind of manage our human nature for a better society. Yeah. So that's the uh, environment we find ourselves in right now. And will always, by the way. In its simplest form, tribalism can be summarized as a cult of personality. Yeah, strong male leader that extends that model as patriarchy when it scales to larger group. This is found in all cultures across time that we've studied. Yeah, and for MAGA, this is MAGA. Trump is the strong male leader today. Yeah, and they'll just replace him. I mean, that's not hard to do. And then of course, just like the United States has a president, and then each state has a governor, and then each state, well, not every city, but cities have mayors, and then of course corporations have CEOs. That's very tribalistic form of society. Um, Hi, my name is Myron Wonderful. I am not a regular content creator today. I'm not an anthropologist. I, however, do study anthropology as part of a personal project I'm working on with the objective to revamp society. It's called a running world scale. Yeah. I'm not providing footnotes or references, except for one book I think everyone should read if you're interested in this topic, called The Blank Slate, The Modern Denial of Human Nature by Steven Pinker. Yeah. It's not an easy book to read, especially if you don't read a lot. So, content creators, here's a opportunity for you. It's a gold mine of content. Um, if you're interested in this topic, and you could probably spend a year just trying to, um, you know, get out that um, content. Yeah, it's very dense. Anyway, the one talking point I want everyone to take away from this video is that MAGA is tribalism. MAGA is low effort, no effort, socializing because it uses base human nature, tribalism. It appeals to all the ugly sides of our nature. The best way to frame MAGA as tribalism is by understanding the history of religion. Yeah. Religion is tribalism. Religion grew out of tribal myths prior to the advent of agriculture, and then religion subsequently codifying social rules into books. Yeah. Tribal religion worked in service of the tribal leader, where mythology tries to encourage people to follow leader rules by using fear and intimidation of the unknown that was reframed as the supernatural. Again, this is a gross oversimplification. Did I say that? Did I put my disclaimer in here? I don't think so. Here's my disclaimer. This video is a gross simplification and generalization of anthropology in an effort to provide insights. Yeah? It is a gross generalization. So I understand that myths were handed down across time. That's not the point here. The point is simply to say that leaders used myths before leaders started using religion, but it was for the same reason, using some of the same tactics, right? One such set of religious rules used to manage base human nature is a set of rules regarding marriage. For example, till death do you part encourages men to stick around and take care of their kids. Adultery rules encourage men not to have kids they don't intend to support, and so on. It is important to note that monogamy is not natural to a large percentage of humans, so monogamy is a civilization trait as well as a tribal trait. In other words, it's natural for some people and unnatural for others. As Pinker points out, religion has always failed at managing our base nature because religion so often appeals to base nature to convince people religion is valid. It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Religion will use base nature, as with homosexuality, to validate their religion, right? Anthropology studies have shown that all cultures find homosexuality abhorrent. Religion is not required. This is because heterosexuals find homosexuality icky. Ick is actually a formal topic of study in psychology, by the way. Religions tap into that base nature and icky feeling to promote religion's validity using human nature. Yeah. So that's what they do. Oh, I find homosexuality icky. Therefore, this religion must be valid, right? All right. Let's fast forward to the 1990s. Yeah. As we fast forward to the 1990s and the rise of Rush Limbaugh, Limbaugh became a purveyor of tribal filth. Limbaugh's propaganda ran counter to civilization. Civilization aspirations of managing everyone to be rowing in the same direction, ideally at some level. Yeah. One example of a common level is, what does it mean to be an American? We've always tried to define that in the public square. The filth Limbaugh was peddling was to demonize all liberals and Democrats as not being American. His hate speech towards liberals soon took off on AM radio. Yeah. So much so that all of AM radio eventually became AM hate radio. Again, I'm simplifying. It probably still is to this day. I haven't checked, but predominantly, if you go on radio these days on AM radio, if it still exists, you're probably going to find one of two things: Christian stuff or AM hate radio, where conservatives are bashing liberals all day long. I remember the first time I listened to Sean Hannity on ABC, in 2003. He would regularly greet his listeners. Let me say that again. He would regularly greet his listeners with phrases like, "You're a true American," or "You're a true patriot." Hannity's most egregious form of tribalism, though, was constantly stating that liberals hate conservatives. He stated hatred this way because saying he hates liberals would turn off his audience. Building hate by stating liberals hate us, however, reached into our base nature of victimhood and grievance. This is tribalism. Do liberals hate conservatives? Of course not. In fact, Sean Hannity was also peddling the flyover states form of division, where liberals don't care about, you know, flyover states. I always thought that the flyover state criticism had legs because liberals were just assumed Washington, D.C. was taking care of flyover states, and that assumption eventually proved fatal to the Democrats. Yeah. Conservative media is hate media, flat out. Conservative media is tribalism, flat out. Conservative media appeals to base human nature. It's low effort, no effort social skill. MAGA is a product of that hatred. Tribalism doesn't scale. By this, I mean that quite literally, the less civilized we become, and then the more tribal we become, then the human population will shrink. The easiest demonstration of this is with the anti vax movement. So, what's the solution? Well, the naive answer to MAGA then is to wipe out conservative media completely. However, can you? Tribalism is our base nature. Patriarchy is our central to our tribalism and is also base human nature. So, we're never going to prevent, demagogues like Trump from rising, right? Because it's in our nature to appeals to patriarchy are in our nature. Humans lived in tribes for 200,000 years. It seems unlikely that we can just hand wave away human nature away. This is one of the points of Pinker's book, which is why I highly recommend you read it. So let's try again. What are the solutions? The answer to MAGA is the answer to tribalism. Yeah, so we're really looking at, okay, we're looking for a general solution to tribalism, right? And that'll apply to MAGA. Yeah. How do we keep people from being manipulated into following destructive human nature? How do we, manage base human nature? In other words, destroying MAGA would just mean another form of tribalism would take its place. And again, this is because tribalism is no effort, low effort socializing. The uneducated can manipulate the uneducated. It's easy money. Think QAnon. Yeah. The first insight to have here with the solution is that it's easier to destroy than to build. The uneducated tribe will always have an initial advantage by destroying. That's what we're seeing today. Civilization's advantage is guns, computers, and other power tools that can only come from civilized societies. Yeah. This brings us to today. How do we address MAGA? How do we address the ever-present threat of tribalism that will always be present because it's low-effort society made by and for the uneducated? It was once said the pen is mightier than the sword. Yeah. By extension, the computer is mightier than the pen that is mightier than the sword. Tribal societies in the modern era must rely on the sword, where the sword is technologies that require little to no education to acquire and use. We need to start implementing checks and balances to tribalism using computer sophistication beyond the reach of tribalism. America should have nipped AM hate radio in the bud, right? If any mass communication platform is spreading division by stating one set of Americans hates another, even if true, then they must be discouraged. Yeah. Well, let's hit them where it hurts the most, crash their accounts. We should implement economic embargoes on people who promote division between Americans. Yeah. Why economic embargo? Because economic embargo requires civilized social systems. Economic embargoes are extremely sophisticated. They require participation of all levels of government and private institutions. Economic embargoes cannot be implemented by tribal systems to any great effect. MAGA is tribalism, and tribalism is base human nature. Managing base human nature is an ever-evolving necessity of civilized societies. We need to manage destructive forces of quick and easy hateful tribalism by some means like economic embargoes, right? Let's get on with it. I'm not a content provider, as I stated. I encourage those who are to download the script provided in a link and remake this video in their own words for their larger audience. The message is an objective for me, yeah? So the content, not ad revenue, because I'm not a content creator. I released the script to the public domain And I thank you for your time. Yeah.